We just did an overcast stitch on the Singer heavy duty sewing machine by picking the stitch that jumps to the right. Now keeping in mind we have one that jumps to the left. That's a blind hem actually, so we don't want that one. But let me show you how you can use this as both a seam and an overlock stitch at once. Kind of like how they do it with the sergers. And I'm going to do it with some knit fabric, so it's even going to have some give in here as well. I'm actually going to cut a little neckline to really give you an idea of how cool this stitch is. So I've got a little curve cut out of the fabric here, and I have some very stretchy ribbing, so knit fabric that is special for around like necklines, and I'm going to actually fold it in half, long and skinny, and it's, like I said, it's very stretchy. We're going to line up the two raw edges with the edge of the curve that I just cut. Now, how do we set this up? Very similar to how we set up for the overlock stitch, but I might make the stitch width a little bit wider. Let's go ahead and go up to 5. We'll leave the stitch length at 1. We're using that exact same stitch on the black side because we're in the black numbers. Leave the needle position where it is, which is all the way to the far right. Now once I take a few stitches, I'm going to kind of evaluate if I like the settings for this. So right now I'm noticing I'm really close together, and that's because I have a little bit heavier fabric than what I did when I did this particular lighter weight settings. So what I'm going to do is I just lengthened it out just a little bit, and now I'm going to just gently pull the fabric as I stitch and kind of guide it around the curve here. Now that does take a little hand-eye coordination, so if you don't do it just perfect the first time, give yourself a little practice there. Now the other thing is I can hear this needle kind of punching through this fabric. What you want to have for needles for knit fabrics is a ballpoint needle, and then that way you're not actually cutting any of the fibers, you're actually kind of oozing through here. All right, this will give you a good idea. Now did you notice that on this stitch you have a straight part of it? So there's a straight part and then a jump, a straight part and a jump. So here's what I did to create a seam. Well, I didn't do anything. The machine just, as part of its actual shape of the stitch, created a seam and an overcast all at once. This is where it was too close together. I was down at stitch length of 1. So I lengthened it out to help accommodate it, pulling it through. Now look at the front side. So not only do we have the seam, we have the overcast, so that's going to stay nice and secure, but watch, we have the stretch, because a t-shirt always has to stretch over your head to get it, well, on, and then you want it to all come back to this shape and not be stretched out. So that's what ribbing is actually all about. But being able to do it all in one pass, when you pick the right stitch and adjust for your fabric for settings of width and length, you will get the perfect results.